Victorian lady with impressive curly hair, circa 1890s. Portrait artist Anna Ladd gave new faces to World War I veterans. Workers lay a dividing line marking the border between the Soviet and British sectors on Potsdamer Platz in Berlin, August 21, 1948. A West Berlin photographer kicks a police officer during a demonstration on the other side of the border in East Berlin, August 13, 1986. Actor Max Schreck during a break on the set of Nosferatu, 1922. Grace Jones, 1970s. Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. The Hand of a Starving Boy, Uganda, 1980. Anne Sheridan was made an honorary member of the Lake Arrowhead Police Force when she was resting at the resort following work in Angels with Dirty Faces in 1938. The gun and cap are regulation. The uniform is her own. Jacques-Yves Cousteau, Red Sea, 1963. Jacques-Yves Cousteau with his team in the underwater home Starfish. Children's pedal cars produced by the Consumer Goods Department of the Chelyabinsk Forge and Press Plant, 1983. Rare photo of a young Patrick Stewart. Christmas party in Badagry, Lagos, Nigeria, 1923. Michael Jackson, 1972. Halloween costumes, 19th century. Men in Harlem gather in front of a shop to listen to the radio, 1940. Stanley Kubrick taking a mirror selfie with his daughter, while Jack Nicholson thought it was a photo of him on the set of The Shining, 1980. Southern California oil boom, 1920s. A plastic surgeon's patient before surgery can only breathe through a tube in his nose. After surgery, he can breathe on his own, but his appearance still makes him feel awkward when people look at him. Members from the Polish Solidarity trade union movement protesting during martial law and being dispersed by Polish Zomo riot control policemen in Warsaw, Polish People's Republic, around May 1982. The Strange Photo of Leonardo DiCaprio with a Seashell, 1995. Kurt Cobain reveals that Courtney is the best lovemaker in the world. Seattle, Washington, July 1993. Irish volunteers May Burke, Ethne Coyle, and Linda Kearns standing on a Union Jack after their escape from Mountjoy Prison. Their escape would make international headlines under the heading 4 Women Break Jail. 1921. Chris Farley was a camp counselor in 1986. Best friends since the Great Patriotic War. Hillary Clinton during a visit to Tokyo, Japan, 1993. The tallest and the shortest workers at the Ringling Barnum and Bailey Circus, Jack Earl and Harry Dole, circa 1930. Tattoos weren't so popular back then. This girl inks her body with washable paint. She's drawing the famous hippie symbols, the yin-yang sign and the word love, 1967. Soldiers playing netball, 1918. John Scully Center, Steve Jobs left and Steve Wozniak right with the Apple IIc, 1984. A wedding couple of 12-year-old children, Seoul, Korea, the last year of the Joseon period in Korean history, 1910. British facial prosthetics and onlays, World War I. Winston Churchill in military uniform at age 21. Great Britain, 1895. Chevy Chase and John Belushi. When Madonna met Antonio Banderas for the first time at Pedro Almodovar's party in Madrid 1990 with Loles Leon and Rossi de Palma, burlesque dancers demonstrate the right and wrong ways to undress. New York City, 1937. The Mingan Bell, Myanmar, 1873. It was the heaviest functioning bell in the world at several times in history. Men fish in front of the Golden Gate Bridge under construction in San Francisco, 1930s. Uvais Akhtayev, the giant of Soviet basketball, playing in 1956. An orphaned boy adopted by an Air Force regiment writes, "For Mum, for Dad, on bombs. World War II." How a Woman Should Defend Herself Against a Murderer, and How to Use Her Fist. Photo from Eleven magazine. "25-year-old Diane Keaton in 1971. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. Ali and Andre the Giant. Former President Barack Obama with his mother Ann Dunham in Hawaii in the 1960s. The Potomac River, 1924. Michael Jackson drops the puck at a game between the Vancouver Canucks and Pittsburgh Penguins, Canada, 1984. The future Queen of Great Britain, Elizabeth II, 1942. A girl happily and carelessly eats ice cream. A popular 19th century treatment using electricity to address various conditions, often controversially. Hairstyles from 1968. A girl hugs a chicken tightly, North Carolina, 1910s. Black African protests in Soviet Moscow, 18th of December 1963. An 11-year-old Wayne Gretzky with his idol, the indestructible Gordie Howe, 1972. "14-year-old Gwen Stefani receiving an autograph from Sting in 1983. "1971. Soldiers patrol the debris-covered streets after conflicts broke out in Belfast in reaction to the British government's decision allowing suspected IRA members to be imprisoned without a trial." Andy Warhol, 1981. Sharon Tate learning some martial arts moves from the Grandmaster Bruce Lee. This was for the filming of 1968 flick The Wrecking Crew. Miss Auto Accessory, United States, 1960s. President Jimmy Carter in the 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant control room, 4 days after the TMI incident, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, April 1979. American M3 submachine gun with a curved muzzle for shooting around corners, 1953. What a Cast, Pulp Fiction, 1994. A Sign, common in Johannesburg, 1956. In Berkeley, Oakland City, California, demonstrators march against the war in Vietnam in December of 1965. Nirvana, 1992. Children posing on giant Amazon lilies, Salem, North Carolina, circa 1898. Quentin Roosevelt and Roswell Pinckney seated on the White House steps, 1902. Quentin was Theodore Roosevelt's youngest child, and Roswell was the son of White House steward Henry Pinckney. Diana Ross eating ribs and looking fabulous in 1997. A young Michael Jackson visiting the Goonies set, 1985. President Kennedy and wife watching America's Cup, 1962. Feminists protest pornography in Times Square, New York City. In the 1890s, teacher Aunt Huckabee taught in a small one-room cabin near Taylor Creek. Johnny Depp and Matthew Perry, 1987. January 1941, United States sailors tear down Nazi flag from German consulate in San Francisco. On board an American airliner first class, 1950s. The Great Mouse Plague of 1917. The states of Queensland and Victoria were literally buried under a living, writhing mass. Mice devoured standing wheat, chewed through leather boots, tablecloths and books. Italian bicycle submachine gun. Warning signs outside Times Beach, Missouri, a hazardous waste-contaminated ghost town near St. Louis, January 1983. Beta Beta, Chapter Kappa Sigma University of Richmond, 1972. New York Governor and future 26th President of the United States Theodore Roosevelt crosses the river on a moose, 1900. The submarine peacemaker during trials in New York Harbor, 1885. Different reactions to heavy rain. Little girl rides a large race of dog while a smaller one poses behind her, circa 1920s. Tom Cruise and Sean Penn, 1981. On the set of the film Forrest Gump in 1993, in 1998, the VAZ 201 Neva accomplished a feat that would forever be etched into automotive history. This legendary SUV climbed Mount Everest under its own power, reaching a camp located at an altitude of 5,200 meters above sea level. Christmas Mail, 1910. Model Betty Page changing clothes at an outdoor photo shoot, 1954. A man runs across the Tacoma Bridge during its destruction, 1940. Circa 1892, woman diving from pier. (1970), Dave Kunst set off from Waseca, Minnesota with the goal of becoming the first person to walk across the world. Over the next 4 years, he would walk 14,500 miles, cross 4 continents, and go through 21 pairs of shoes. Jackie Stewart wearing a helmet-mounted camera in practice for the 1966 Monaco Grand Prix. David Bowie. Prisoners of the Flossenburg concentration and death camp after its liberation by the United States Army's 97th Infantry Division in May 1945. Frank Sinatra under the table from Overheard Joke, Miami, 1965. Isabel Dufresne, Salvador Dali, Andy Warhol and Keith Haring, New York, 1980s. The Black Jewish Community of Harlem, 1940s. African runner Matthias Kanda from southern Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, races a steam locomotive, 1968. An Avro Lancaster of No. 514 Squadron RAF over the target during a bomber command attack on oil storage tanks at Beck Dam in the Gron Estuary, 4th August 1944. Dora Rathjen, a German Olympic athlete, was arrested at a train station on suspicion of being a man dressed as a woman, 1938. members of 2nd Battalion 5th Maratha Light Infantry at the Sport of Malcolm, 1937. On the set of Titanic, 1986. A doctor examines a patient, a broken face, in February 1945 at the Maxillofacial Centre of Marie Lanelong Hospital, Rue de Tolbiac in Paris, in front of pictures and mouldings of broken faces. The swimming lesson is held on the sand. Early skate safety hack, 1924. Victoria Beckham as a child, the 1970s. Royal Manners, Westminster Abbey, July 23, 1986. (1908) Bicycle polo match at the London Olympics. The picture shows the teams of Ireland and Germany. Actor Anthony Perkins on the set of the film Psycho, 1960. Tupac Shakur hugging a hound dog in the early 1990s. King George V's 10-day royal hunting expedition in Nepal. Numerous tigers, rhinoceros, bears, leopards, deer, boar, porcupines and birds were killed with a massive 12,000 crew in 1911. Ethiopian marathon runner Abebe Bikila won the gold medal at the 1960 Rome Olympics. He ran the entire distance barefoot. In this 1961 snapshot from the Cleopatra movie set, Elizabeth Taylor is sitting on her then-husband Eddie Fisher's lap. Nancy Reagan on Mr. T's lap. Legendary composer and conductor Leonard Bernstein plugs his ears while the Beatles perform in 1965. Bruce Lee with his son. Helena Bonham Carter, 1989. Leonardo DiCaprio, 1993. Frida Kahlo at age 18, 1926. Anna Haining Bates, 7 foot 11 inches, one of the tallest women in history with her husband. A costume party for the Western States Life Insurance Company Employees Club, October 25, 1934.